Hello, fellow Rebel Capitalists. Hope you're well. Just waiting for Josh there. I think he's having some internet issues. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into this story from CNBC. Dow drops 500 points in the late afternoon trading due to tensions increasing significantly with Russia. So let's do a screen share and dive into the article. Should let me increase the size so you guys can see this. Here we go. So Dow drops 500 points. NASDAQ sinks more than 2%. Remember that, guys. NASDAQ down more than 2%. What I'm going to do throughout this video is look at asset classes other than stocks and see how they responded to this news. One of my things is I'm trying to figure out when I can increase my Bitcoin position. And I'm not going to do it until Bitcoin decouples from the NASDAQ. That tells me that it is truly trading like a non-correlated asset is what I'm looking for. Panic as well in the market. But so on fears Russian attack on Ukraine. If you guys haven't seen that tweet that was going around or that video of Putin that was going around on Twitter, guy's got some strong words. I mean, he's not playing around. That's for sure. So stocks slid on Friday, like we were saying, sending oil spiking higher. We're going to get to that in a moment. And people dumping risky assets like equities. The tech-heavy NASDAQ fell 2.78%. Dow tumbled 1.3%. It shows kind of how the trading went. Today is up for a while. And then as this news, as these tensions increased, the market just tanks. With about 2 hours left in the trading day, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said at a White House briefing, there were signs of a Russian escalation at the Ukraine border, and it was possible that an invasion could take place during the Olympics, despite speculation to the contrary. Both the US and UK have called for their citizens to leave Ukraine ASAP. So that's kind of the big headline news. Let's go back to the CNBC homepage and see how this affected other asset classes. Again, the things that we are paying the most attention to right now would be the relationship between the 10-year and the 2-year, trying to see if that curve is flattening or potentially inverting. So Dow down 500 points, S&P 85, NASDAQ 2.78% or 394 points. As you would imagine, VIX way up. What did I say yesterday, guys? I think that was the last video of the day where I said if you could do one thing and one thing only, go long volatility. And there we go. That's why I nailed that one for sure. So going back to, let's start with oil. As you would expect, oil skyrockets almost up to $94 a barrel, up 4.47%. I'm assuming that is mostly in late day trading. Let's look at a one-day chart. And boom, there you go. Wow, look at that news. Hit the wire, and boy, it exploded higher. Let's go. I mean, with this move in oil, it really makes me want to sell my position. I tried to sell it, as you guys know, by selling puts, and it just hasn't hit the darn strike price. But not that I'm bullish long term on oil, but it's expensive right now. When it gets over 80, it's expensive, and you guys know my rule there. But we'll have to see how that one plays out. I'll have to think about that over the weekend. Gold, very interested to see what gold did. Up. Yeah, as I would expect that too, because gold, it's not just about inflation. It's about uncertainty in the markets, and war with Russia or Russia invading Ukraine would definitely equate to some serious uncertainty. This is good news too here. Copper down. I love to see that because long term, I'm very bullish on copper. So if we could get copper at a cheap price, it's still really high. Boy, if you could get it, here's a fight. Yeah, look at that. Yikes. I mean, if you could get it back down in this area somewhere, boy, I would be a serious buyer there. So let's go back to let's crypto. Just unfortunately, Bitcoin falling out of bed here, down 4%. So for me, I don't like to see that. I don't care if it goes down or up. As far as me adding to my position, I just don't like to see it tied at the hip with the Nasdaq. It's trading as a risk asset, no matter how bullish you are. I know the maxis like to say that it is a non-correlated asset or that it's an inflation hedge, yada yada yada. Uh, it's not how it's trading. I think there's a good Bitcoiners that own it for those reasons, but I want to wait till everyone else sells, and the only people left are the people who truly understand why you should own it, and that's what I want to buy. And I don't think that's going to happen until it decouples from the Nasdaq. So we'll have to keep watching. Now, the big news is what happens to bonds. Look at this, the 10-year down to almost 1.9%. Wow. Remember, prior to the big news coming out about inflation going to 7.5, 10-year was at right around 1.94. It went up to 2.1 almost. And remember, we were saying that yes, that went up, but it didn't go up near as much as the 2-year. So just looking at the 10-year, I would assume that the even more. Let's see if this made the move in the late parts of the day there. Yes, it did. That's not a surprise. So then let's go to the 2-year quickly. Two-year down a lot. Hmm. Wow, look at that, guys. 2-year down at 1.5. I would assume though, if it's down, yeah, the curve is still flattened out just slightly. I mean, it's pretty much the same as yesterday. But boy, what that's telling you is that the market is now saying there's a lower probability that the Fed actually increases interest rates. Now, I'm sure that the market still believes they're going to increase whatever it is, but just a slightly lower probability than yesterday, obviously due to the news with Russia. If Russia invades Ukraine, I think all bets are off the table as far as the interest rate hikes. And then you got to ask yourself, well, what does that do to CPI? What does that do to gold? And what does that do to the dollar? Let's check on that really quick, too. My guess is the dollar was down. Actually, with dollar being safe haven, it might be up, though. Hmm. I think that's a coin toss because dollar being safe haven, you could see it going up due to tensions with Russia, but you could also see it going down because the 2 year is telling us that the probability of the Fed rate hikes is down slightly. So let's check this out. I'll be curious to see what it did. Yeah, up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the dollar just shot straight up with the news. So yields down. So meaning prices of bonds up, a dollar up. Yeah, that's why. It's a flight to safety, and that's why you see the Nasdaq and risk assets trading down to such a significant degree. So that's the news. That's how the markets responded. Remember, Monday the Fed is doing their emergency meeting. I believe that was 11:30 Eastern time. So we're going to definitely pay attention to that and see how this plays out. Uh, I can't give any investment advice, but I'm going to stick to what I was saying yesterday in our last video, and that if I could go long one thing right now, it would be volatility. That is for sure. My guess is Chris Cole is going to have a very good month this month. That's for sure. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the weekend. And as always, make sure that you're standing up for freedom, liberty, free market capitalism. And let's remember to support those truckers all the time. We'll see you on the next video.